Good. And we are live now.
Hey, welcome.
Hello.
I see you've got a new background, Thiago.
Yeah, I have a new one. Yeah, so I'm in Brazil at the moment. So we're doing 3 different countries today.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of time zones. A lot of time zones.
It's a lot of time zones. Cool. So I don't know. It's good afternoon for me. You know, it's more good evening for you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So hello from whatever you guys are. So we're gonna start as we always start today. We have Tony. Tony is creative director and founder of Yeti Pictures. So I'm gonna play the kind of latest showreel just to introduce you guys quickly, and we can talk to Tony and he can introduce himself better. Give me 1 second to share screen. And cool. Sound optimize. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Let me stop this.
So nice. We'll watch it twice.
Yeah, so nice, man. Really nice.
Thank you, guys.
Tony, can you introduce yourself properly?
Yeah,
so
sure.
everyone know who you are properly, and that we can start the conversation.
Yeah, great. So I'm Tony Zagoraios maybe for a few people pronouncing like that. So I have been in the motion design industry like 14 or 15 years now. I started as a motion designer freelance, so mainly doing After Effects and stuff like that. That was pretty trendy back then, and I was trying to experiment myself, find what was my creative path back then. So I would start doing a few personal projects. Then I was lucky enough to create a few cool projects that gained some traction. And back then it was pretty trendy, Vimeo stuff, Peak, and things like that. So I was lucky enough to create some cool projects, as I said, and then I had the opportunity to get into the industry and start working as a freelancer and motion designer. Mainly I was doing, as I said, like After Effects, but then I started getting into 3D, not a heavy 3D artist, but mostly from an artistic point of view, using the 3D Cinema 4D back then, no Octane render, cool stuff. Pretty tough to get a cool image. And then as I was, evolving as an artist, we started our first studio, which was named Yell on 2015. And then Yell was, unfortunately came to an end until 2018. And then from Yell, we moved on with my buddy, Thanos, also known as Motion Punk. We started Yeti on 2018, And then we started moving on and try to focus on more creativity and experiment a lot with Cinema 4D, with art direction, and try to find our own voice into the industry. So we managed to do a few cool projects, like Fruitless, mad scenes and personal projects, but also some cool work with clients like, the TV Sky Idents. And then as things were moving forward, we decided with Thanos like 2 years back, 2.5 years, I guess, that, there were a few differences in the things that we wanted to move on. So I continued with the team, with the Yeti team. I expanded the Yeti team. We're not a big studio, I prefer working with small teams. We're like a total seven guys right now, like 2 girls and five guys. And we're moving on with Yeti Pictures, trying to have diversity and not a specific style. I don't know which is the best thing until today, having a specific style or having a diversity. But to be honest, I'm getting bored doing a specific style from project to project. So I always want to do, realistic stuff or more colorful stuff. So I'm always trying to play. So I was 100% hands-on with the projects, but as I was evolving as an artist and I moved on to more a position of, like a creative director and art director. So mainly I'm responsible right now for the concept, for the direction, sometimes for lighting, texturing, and also post-production, like, compositing, grading, stuff like that. But not, very technical artist at the moment, doing all the, I don't know, simulations or crazy animations, stuff like that, which I have to admit that I enjoy that a lot. Sometimes I'm missing to be 100% hands-on, doing animation, but I really enjoy my role as it has been evolved through the years.
That's nice. That's nice. It's funny to hear you talking about like 2D in the beginning, because when we look the website nowadays, you guys really heavy on the 3D, and it's really funny as well because we had Mike from Menzar's Machine. Mike used to be a big 2D guy as well.
I used to have a medallion that said 2D on it.
Yeah. But it's really funny to see all like the 2D people moving into 3D. Yeah. And how long you been doing 3D, man? Because like since I know you quite a few years, and since I know your work is been growing and growing on the 3D scope like really heavily,
I think I started, 2012. I started using Cinema 4D when I did the digitized video. It's still one of my favorites. It's kind of old today. It's like 10 years ago, but I still like it. I started using Cinema 4D back then, like 10 years ago. But I was trying to find the artistic way of the software, so more like development and stuff like that. So I was not very technical, a technical artist in the Cinema 4D. Then I tried to learn more things about Cinema 4D, and I was trying to move on and have some progress, but I always using Cinema 4D more like, a creative tool in order to come up with look development and style frames. And sometimes I can do, a few, more technical stuff, but, not too heavy. So it's like 10 or 11 years with Cinema 4D, but nowadays you can find anything you want. You can, just type, I want,
it's true.
Eating a car or something crazy. Back then, I'm still having the books here, like huge book with Cinema 4D, R16, and it's pretty crazy the way we were trying to adapt the knowledge and the principles about the software. So
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because one thing we noticed there is a massive dog here now. One thing I quite noticed quite a lot is like you're always pushing more in the art direction scene. Even talking about that, you also have a course you do on MoGraph Mentor about art direction as well, no? How did you get yourself involved on teaching? Is something you wanted, you always wanted, or you always wanted to share, your expertise?
I used to be in MoGraph Mentor. I think it's like 7-8 years ago that Michael from MoGraph Mentor approached me. I was not used to to be a teacher. I had no experience back then. But from the moment I started, I really enjoyed being there, trying to transfer my knowledge or communicate with the students. But I was enjoying that because I was also learning from the students. And it was not about learning, tips or tricks or technical stuff. It's about re-educating yourself in a few things that maybe you were not 100% aware. Okay, so I was, restudying in order to present them accurately. Some of their questions, they were raising a few concerns about what is cool or what is not, what is wrong or what is, accurate. So it was a great, experience for me being a teacher. And I was also passionate from the students. I was, lucky enough to see how they're evolving. And I'm pretty happy that I'm seeing a lot of my students back then being right now some awesome motion designers in big and great studios. It's
yeah, that's cool.
Really awesome.
Yeah, so it's something, I don't know if you feel the same, but it's something I always love when I used to teach, is because teach forces you to learn as well,
Yeah.
Because especially when we're working all the time, we know how to do the things, but we don't really know how to explain. We don't really know the principle to explain people. So makes you go back to be a student as well, because you need to learn how you're going to explain that something but and I think that helps quite a lot as well on everyday work, because helps us to be better to explain to clients our ideas and everything, because we see from a different perspective than when we just like at the work. So I think that helps me quite a lot.
We get stuck in our ways as well, because you're working on a project or whatever. We get stuck in our ways, just want to get it done. Whereas I feel like if you're interacting with students and learning from them, then it gives you like a different perspective on like not just techniques, but how ideas come about and all that kind of side of things. It feels like breath of fresh air sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, and this was the reason that I was not doing any tutorials or stuff like that, but there was a moment that we decided, I was very motivated from all the teaching. So this is the moment where we did the course back then as Yeti, the style framing course, which, I enjoyed that a lot back then. We did that with Thanos. I took the theory part of the course, and, Thanos did the more technical stuff. This is still a course which I'm proud of. It's like 9 hours, and I'm still proud of, because I learned a lot by trying to teach other people.
Yeah. I think helps so much clarify your ideas as well, and how to express yourself. Yeah, it's something I always got fascinated by, teachings because of that, and even the basic stuff turns, because you know how to do, but how are you going to explain that in a way someone doesn't know? And that helps me so much, like nowadays when pitching ideas as well, how to explain to clients, because you always, that's my idea, I know what's going to happen, but you need to translate that in a really clear way. And I think teaching is the same thing happen. Did you feel that helps you quite a lot on having your own studio after?
I think it helped a little bit the studio to spread our work, mostly, especially from the course. It helped Yeti to be to get to the more audience or more people to take a look at our work, and that was cool. And I'm really glad taking today some emails that people are watching our courses or
that's
from my older student, which is pretty cool. This is I think this is the main idea behind 3D or motion design. It's like to to take your knowledge and try to share with people. We should share our knowledge or tips, because now tools are tools. It's the idea.
Yeah, it's true.
One which differentiate the artist or the studio. I mean, tools are there. Anybody can find them. Learn them. Be good. Be awesome. I don't know, but it's all about the idea. So even if you teach the techniques or the principles, it doesn't matter. I mean, you will have to stand out by your ideas, concept, or how you
we'll leave the copycats to Fiverr.
Exactly.
That's nice. I don't know if anyone knows, but Tony is in Greece, in Athens. Can you tell us, because how is the industry there? Because I imagine nowadays doesn't really matter much, especially after COVID, when everyone is everywhere. You can be locating anywhere in the world. Your address doesn't matter much, but you have the studio for quite a few years already. So how was the beginning? How is the industry? You guys used to work a lot for the Greece market, or you already managed to get a lot of international clients in the beginning? Or
I was thinking the other day, I don't really know that many Greek studios. And maybe that might be my ignorance, but
no, you're pretty close. I mean, the only problem with Greece is the lack of education. I mean, there are no universities, there is no academic knowledge on motion design or 3D. I was invited this year to teach into one of the biggest schools here in Greece about motion design and stuff like that, and I realized that the level of knowledge from the people that they're running these institutes is very, very low. I mean, there is no experience, there is no knowledge, so they cannot transfer any kind of knowledge into the young students. This is the main problem here in Greece. So, for example, I'm trying to hire one more people in order to add to the team at the moment, and it's pretty hard to find. I mean, because most of the people that are graduating here from Greece, they are knowing, we know 3D, but it's not like the 3D that we're doing in the industry right now. It's how can I say that, like an old school 3D, like 10 years or 12 years ago, just because the teachers or the professors here, they're not up to date. Okay, so this is one of the problems. We don't have a great pool of talent in order to find people. The second problem is that the agencies here and the productions, they don't have a clue about 3D or motion design that we all love to see. Okay, they just, especially in Greece, when they're saying 3D or motion design, it's like we're having a footage and we want to play some 3D over or some typography. Okay. There are a few exceptions that we like, the TV Sky Eye Dance or a few other TV commercials like the Proteria commercials that we just saw in the reel, or the Mega TV Eye Dance that we have done. There are a few exceptions that clients, they are risking in order to do something more contemporary, but most of the clients here, they just want footage, footage, great footage, actors, and maybe we can add some 3D or super shower.
So they're quite old school in their thoughts. It's like, well, we've always done it this way. We're not really going to deviate.
And this is the moment that I decided, Tony, if you want to come up with some cool works, you have to take a look at clients from abroad. And this is the reason we started to doing personal projects. This is I think the personal project it's the core philosophy of me and Yeti. Doing personal projects will attract clients from abroad if they're cool, and this is what we were always trying to do. So we started doing like the Machines project, and then we were able to get some clients from abroad. So we had the opportunity to work with some big and great studios from abroad and doing some cool work. I used to be in the No-Mint agency in the UK as a director.
That's a Greek studio, isn't it? No-Mint?
It used to be
Greek owners. Sorry.
Yeah. No-Mint used to be in Greek, but then they moved into London. So when they moved to London, I was still having my contract as a director. So they helped me to work with Google, with Virgin, with a few people, a few clients. And then with Yale and Yeti, we started, working with Electronic Arts and Nissan and some clients from abroad. And personal projects, then I really believe that they boost Yeti, and we managed to work now, as you already seen the reel with, like Coyote with Elastic or other clients from abroad, and working with Framestore from Chicago, working with Attack Plan from United States. Right now, it's like 80% of our clients, they are not from Greece, and 20% they're from Greece. Which
do you think like the domestic market, domestic agencies, do you think their mentality will change because post-COVID we're even more of a global industry now? Like you were saying, like 80% of your work is from abroad or what have you. So surely that would force the domestic market in some way to change the mentality and bring it more up to date. Well, hopefully.
I don't know. I think the problem is more focused on the creative directors inside the agencies, because like the creative directors inside the agencies are the ones that they are writing the script or getting up a few ideas, and they are not very aware of motion design and 3D. So they are all I don't know, they're falling in love with video shooting and stuff like that. Okay, there's no creativity regarding our like Yeti's work or similar studios from abroad. So I think there's been a progress, but a slow progress.
It's quite slow,
yeah, very slow. What happened is during the COVID, as you said, during the COVID, most of the Greek agencies and productions, they were doing a lot of post-production stuff, but just because they were not able to go for a live action shooting. And when the COVID stopped, it's like for 2 years now, they keep pushing the productions into live action and footage. It's like, I don't know, they missed it a lot, I guess, being outside and having this live action stuff.
I think it's always difficult when it comes to agency.
I think with live action, there's a lot of like swanning about for agencies, isn't there? It's like, yeah, we'll go have a drink, a meal or whatever. It's like, oh, there's a live action shoot going on as well. Great.
It's all about the PR, client, the agency and the productions, meeting them, as you said, having a dinner.
Maybe we should start thinking how to change the industry, and just getting clients to come to the, we're going to do some 3D, come here and we're going to see the guys modeling and we give you some drinks, I don't know, it just feels like we always lose for live action for that reason, for them to be like on the shoot and things like that. If we could make, maybe with Meta and VR coming up, maybe clients can have like glasses and watching, we're working. They may make a bit more fun.
I wonder if you could make watching somebody animate more interesting, like wow, like really over exaggerate it, like some kind of like Jerry Bruckheimer type situation production.
I don't know. I mean, clients, I don't know. I have worked a few times with a client being behind me.
Yeah, that's the worst thing.
That was
I hate that. I don't even like, what did the client really get out of it? Because you don't see anything of animation until the very end, really. So unless they've worked in animation before and have a good understanding, it's almost pointless. It's like watching paint dry.
Yeah, something like that. But they wanted to, let's change that color, bringing it a little bit faster or a little, slower and stuff like that. And I know they're happy because they feel that they were part of the process.
Yeah, it's true.
So they're very happy.
But it's painful, but it's really
painful for us.
Yeah.
But one thing I really like you said, is because sometimes I get quite a lot of emails of students asking, like recommendation and ask questions, and I've got students come to the studio, and it's something we used to see quite a lot. People putting like tutorials on the showreel, and of course we on the industry, we know that is a tutorial. We also look at tutorial, no matter how.
We know who did the tutorial.
But and it's really nice you talking about something you've been doing with the studio is doing personal work, to attract more work, because clients buy what they see. It's really hard to sell to clients what they don't see, you know. And this is something I always trying to recommend students, you know, it's better you see a really nice personal work than see a showroom full of tutorials, you know. And you like the live example of this, you know, with you guys just launched a new summer like a little short film as well. And it's something always come up from you as well. It's always this short films you guys creating and you saying to attract clients. And this is a good example how the industry should be running as well, you know, because it helps so much.
Yeah, I think what happens with the young artists, I mean, the main problem is the amount of knowledge that they're facing. I mean, there are a lot of tools, you know, like I want to learn 4D, I want to learn Cinema 4D and X particles, I want to learn, you know, Octane and Redshift. So there is a great amount of information that they're getting lost. So it's very easy. I mean, it's the easiest thing to get lost in this ocean of information. I mean, it's pretty easy. So they're focused on one thing, then on one another, and at the end they're ending up with, you know, like trying to copy tutorials and, you know, just change the light or the color and do something, you know, like different, which is, you know, I accept that as a first stage of a progress, but not as a reel. I mean, I prefer someone that he or she can present something which is, you know, not the ideal project regarding technical stuff, but I can see something. I mean, it can be a cool moment. I mean, I am watching a lot of reels, and in the first 15 seconds, you know, I can have the whole picture, you know, it doesn't need more. So 15 or 20 seconds maximum. Because
I agree.
It doesn't take more, you know. And for young students, maybe I will see in a 1 minute reel, if I see like 5 or 10 seconds that I can tell to myself, you know, something good is happening here. You know, he's trying to have his own artistic point of view. He's trying to develop his own aesthetics. So, you know, I can try and understand what's happening with each artist, you know, and that helps me a lot in order, you know, hire or you know, having a guy working remotely for us or as a freelancer. Okay, but the amount of information is huge today, and social media, I mean, they're cool, I use them for my work, but they have a dark side which is not the best for people that they want to move on and, you know, learn new stuff.
Yeah, it's very overwhelming, isn't it? Like it's like, look over here, now look over here, now look over here, rather than maybe I should just do this.
Yeah, it's like that, you know, it's like they're getting lost.
With regards to your teaching, like what information do you wish you'd have known, like when you started out? Like what do you think, what have you learned along your journey that would have been super useful?
Okay, nice.
For a longer
I
version.
think you know, composition, layout, and lighting would be the 3 important things that I would like to know. And color, you know, like color theory, or at least not 100% color theory, you know, but a basic knowledge of color and how you can blend them and how you can use them. I think like these 4 principles or fundamentals, I think would be great to have them. I
feel those fundamentals are more important than the actual software you end up using anyway, because I think if you focus on the foundations, then it's transferable. You know, you can transfer to any software, it doesn't matter, or you can use that to direct people who are experts in the software, so you don't have to learn the software.
Yeah, but I think this is a problem we've been seeing quite a lot nowadays with, I don't know, watching all kind of, because people nowadays learning by tutorial a lot, you know, or even like online schools, they trying to teach you After Effects, Cinema 4D. You're basically learning a software. You're not really learning any design principle. And it's surprised, like you're saying, color composition, you know, how many times you get someone create something and the composition is wrong, or, you know, you don't focus on the right place. but people forget about the basic principles and forget they need to learn them more than they need to learn the tools. You know, and it's like James said, you can learn the fundamental. You can be a really good art director and tell people what, you know, how they do the things, and you get someone really expert on the 3D. You know, doesn't have the right and the wrong way, but you can be a technical person, or you know, or you can push more your design knowledge. I think people is missing quite a lot.
I guess you need to decide, don't you? Like, which one do you want to be? Like, you know, technical, it's really hard. I don't know that many people who are amazing at technical and also amazing at design. Like, you know, one and the other, but they're still relatively specialist. I mean, there are people out there, don't get me wrong, but I think they're few and far between.
Sure. I mean, I think that, you know, we are, you know, living in the days of, you know, the abstract design and 3D, which there are no rules. I mean, there are rules regarding the simulation or the techniques, which is pretty awesome. But I think I'm an old guy, you know. I like telling a story or having an idea, not necessarily a concept, but just an idea, you know, something to tell. So yeah, mainly because we have that, let's say, trend at the moment with a lot of, you know, abstract stuff. Maybe people that are focusing on, you know, like more technical stuff, which is cool. You know, I wish I was like, my mind doesn't work like that. You know, it's not very mathematical, you know, pattern. I don't have these patterns in my brain. So I'm more like an artistic guy. So I think that they're leading towards these, you know, they're leaning towards that direction, you know, like doing crazy stuff, and they're, even if they are cool, even if they are difficult, this is the other word, you know, I'm trying to find out today, like something, it has to be difficult in order to be cool. This is the main problem, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be, does it?
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
doesn't have to be at all, you know.
Like one of the first principles I was taught in as designer was the KISS rule, you know, like keep it simple, stupid. Like,
yeah,
ideas, and also the most difficult ideas. The best ideas are always simple, but they're always the most difficult to get to.
Yeah,
Its simplicity is hard to do it correct.
Exactly. This is why sometimes you are watching like a design or a motion piece that is just like a shape or a light and a color, but it's pretty awesome. I mean, the whole aesthetics, the atmosphere, the layout, the composition, it's pretty cool. Okay. And sometimes for people like me, it's more impressive rather than watching a very, you know, technical, you know, like simulation, which is pretty awesome. I think, but not for me, you know, it doesn't work for me. I'm not getting so excited.
What was the Russian motion designer? His name was Maxim Zestkov.
Yeah.
Like, his stuff is beautiful, but there's an amazing simplicity to it. You know, it's almost monochrome plus a color kind of thing.
Awesome, you know, that's awesome. There are a lot of artists, you know. I mean, I hope that I'm not passing don't get people that are doing simulations or crazy stuff, you know, and trying to misunderstand me. You know, I love that. When Thanos was back in Yeti, he was doing a lot of stuff, and we were trying to incorporate in the projects. And sometimes we're still doing, because we're doing a lot of CG food stuff, where I have all these Houdini liquids and simulations and stuff like that, which is awesome. But you know, I prefer the narration, the storytelling. From in personal projects or commercial projects, this is, you know, what I really like, you know, which is you know, also really cool. You know, this is what I'm trying to achieve in most of the projects today. It's not the easiest task, you know, but we're trying.
We're talking about what you're trying to achieve. Where do you see, you know, you taking the studio and yourself, you know, in the next 5-10 years? You know, do you guys have anything you really want to do? You know, like working on TV series. You guys been doing some titles, you know, opening titles with Elastica and everything. But is anything you really missing, or maybe doing games or doing like a TV series? Is there anything you guys planning then you want to achieve?
I think, also part of that, like, who would be your ultimate client or ultimate project, should I say?
Okay, that's a nice question. I don't know, to be honest, if you were asking me a few years ago, I was having something more like a solid vision for the future. But right now, I'm trying, as I'm getting older, like 41 years old, I'm trying to get a little bit more, feel relaxed and not getting too anxious for the future, because I have seen from the moment that I started, a lot of things happen, which there were cool things, but there were also stressful things, like from freelancing to our first studio, breaking up the first studio, creating a second one, then Thanos leaving, regrouping the Yeti. So a lot of stuff has happened to me during all these years. So I'm trying to stay relaxed. So I'm always creating a plan, but it's more like an annual plan. So it's like where I see Yeti to move on until next July or next August. So I'm trying to establish short-term goals rather than long-term goals. Okay. So what I'm always trying to do, like seasons like that, August, trying to come up with a plan and say to myself and to the team, okay, guys, we're starting from September. What are we going to do this year? Okay. What do we want to do this year? Okay. And that philosophy is moving from year to year, because, if I'm trying to think for the 5 years from now, I'm going to be not stressed, but I want to enjoy the moment. I prefer to enjoy the present, the moment, doing plans, but not long-term plans. Because most of the days when you are a founder beside a creative director or art director, the only thing that may give you is like sometimes stress. Of course, some other guys might say that if you don't have a plan or a long-term plan, you may not go nowhere. I can hear that. But for me, I prefer short-term goals, from year to year.
I think it's depending on what works for you as well. It's always good to plan, but as you're saying, you're still planning 1 year ahead.
Yeah.
It's easier to digest with. Obviously, whatever works for you, kind of thing. But it's easier to digest if you're doing a more short-term plan as well. Like sometimes, if you're doing like 5-10 years, it's quite overwhelming. It's like, how do I get here? And then you just go, I don't know, and then it falls apart.
Yeah, and especially, I think especially when we, I can rely a little bit with you, because when you have your own company and you're still directing the job, you're still working on the job, it's quite, you're not just like a company director where you can sit and make plans. You're still working on the everyday's job. So when you're trying to plan too long, it just getting kind of a frustration as well, because you find some problems, you don't have that time to find the solutions as well, because you need to jump back on the project, you need to jump with the team. So it makes it a little bit more hard, I think, to plan a long term when you are hands-on on the studio as well.
Yeah, to be honest, our generation, a lot of things happened to our generation. I was born in 1981, and in Greece we had the economic crisis like 10 years ago. Then we had a few other problems. Then the COVID came into our lives. We have COVID. This year we have the war in Ukraine that turned upside down Europe, and I'm pretty sure the financial results of the war will be ahead in the next year in the whole industry, not in our industry but everywhere. Okay, so
it's got like a big got quite a big knock-on effect. Like the other day when Russia shut off the gas to Germany. Obviously Germany's like the big powerhouse of Europe in terms of industry, so that's going to have rather large implications over the next few months, and obviously into winter as well.
There is a discussion I was reading yesterday that there is an idea that maybe they were closing. They were going to shut down electricity for a few hours in a few areas, which is pretty crazy. I can't imagine working and then the government has decided to shut down for 3 or 4 hours the electricity in our city or our town. What's going to happen?
It feels like North Korea in a way, doesn't it? Doesn't feel like Europe.
Yeah, it's something like that. I know. So
Yeah, it's difficult to plan. Yeah.
It's I don't know, 5 years. I mean, let's
Who
go
knows?
for the next
If
year.
I'm alive, I'm happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Crazy.
And
crazy.
so talk more about the present. I don't know if you guys don't follow Tony on the Instagram, you should. He posts such amazing work there. But one thing I want to talk, I think you've been a really inspiring person for me when we're talking about AI stuff. You know, for who doesn't know, Tony has been playing with Mid Journey quite a lot. But what I love what you've been doing is you're not just getting the computer to generate images for you. So you move to one process ahead where you work collaborating with the computer, and you made the AI. It starts simulating the initial image, and you spend hours on the Photoshop creating a collaboration on art direction with a piece, and that piece looks amazing. You guys can go to Tony's Instagram, and you're gonna be able to see. But where do you think, because you are one of the the first ones doing that, but also pushing this kind of collaboration, because I don't think the AI is gonna take our job, but one thing you did is something I really thought, that's amazing, to see where you took the initial image and there you pushed the Photoshop and created the concept on top. Where do you see the AI being more like a tool we're going to collaborate, just another software where we're going to collaborate to create concepts and things like that? What do you think about the AI in general?
Yeah, I think when it all started with the AI, the explosion with the Mid Journey, and then with the DALL-E, it's like there were too many people that were too skeptical, or they were afraid that it's going to take our jobs. But I'm not pretty sure. I mean, it will maybe in 10 or 15 years, maybe still maybe the human factor is not, something that you can easily, use in an AI computer-aided program. So what I believe is, like, what I have seen is you can use the AI in order to get a great reference, create a very fast mood board or a concept, and then move on, get into Photoshop and try to move that one step forward, it's pretty awesome. And I think it's like just another tool, like, I don't know, the Adobe Suite or Cinema 4D. It's like another tool for helping us getting some inspiration, creating a fast mood board. And I used also, to be honest, I used DALL-E a lot the last 2 weeks. I'm more a Mid Journey guy, to be honest. DALL-E is cool, but it doesn't have that magic touch from as Mid Journey has. So it was cool, but it's more like giving you alternative ideas. You can drag and drop an image, and you can have some ideas. For example, we did a short for summer. As every summer season like that, we are doing a short video. It's like, I don't know, our tribute or homage to the summer vacations. So we were trying to model and design a few stylized cars, and then we had an idea for the third car, which was the last car that was going to end up the scene. So what we did is we drew a very draft car, and then we take that and place that into the DALL-E and took some ideas, and then I don't know, 4 or 5 times after keep generating ideas, we find a thumb that was pretty close. We took that thumb, used that as a reference, and we built the third car that was used in the video. So that was cool. I mean, cool. From a thumb, we took something which was more defined, and it was having a shape, a geometry, and then we modeled that and we textured that, and it was pretty cool. So it's just another tool that will help us to move on.
I think helps a lot when you have that mind block as well. Like suddenly you need to look for inspiration, but instead you just go and look what people has been doing. You can just throw like words there and let the computer throw some abstract things on top of you, then sometimes just trigger something that helps your creative process just to follow that. You know, I think as a tool, I think works really nice, because the way the computer process and the speed that happen is really impressive.
Is Midjourney and DALL-E, are they going to be subscription based now or something? I thought I read somewhere.
Midjourney, I think it's like $37 per month if you want to have like almost limitless. Yeah. DALL-E is free for the moment, but they don't send a lot of invitations. It's more like more close.
Yeah, DALL-E is more close, you know. Yeah, Midjourney you can get into easily, and I think you have two options. You have the $10 where you have a limit amount of image you can process, and you have the $30. You have almost unlimited images you can process a month. And is that there is a little community as well where you can see what people is doing. You can see what is the prompt they posting as well, so you can see what is the words people is posting.
I'm sure it's just a matter of time before Adobe buy it and incorporate it into.
Maybe
probably.
Probably.
Or Apple buy and.
I mean, they've got they've got like their own stock photo incorporation. So this is like the next level of that, really. So it makes complete sense.
The main problem that maybe I see one potential problem is like guys from the agencies, getting into Midjourney and then
that we've been discussing.
Yeah, they're sending stuff from Midjourney. Yeah, we want something like that. Something pretty do something.
Well, you can just reply of, I can do that. What were the keywords you used?
Yeah. So that's my fear. But I guess this is my biggest fear, getting something extraordinary, awesome. And Midjourney always gives you that cool painting look, like Renaissance drawings or paintings, which is pretty awesome.
I feel it's more of a worry for illustration, because illustration will just turn into basically, what's the location app, 3 words. It'll basically turn into that.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, but it's a big subject, because people saying who has the rights for that as well,
Yeah.
And as an artist, you should have the right to opt to not be part of that, because you can be copying anyone's work, that's what we're creating, put like a painter name or artist name and regenerate based on that as well.
This is an age-old discussion though, isn't it? Taking other people's art, and how much do you alter it before it becomes your art? I mean, you can say the same thing with like a lot of Banksy's old work. And
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, modern art is full of it.
I don't know. But it was crazy. I mean, as Thiago said, when I was first uploading the images that I was doing in Midjourney, and then with a few, touched in Photoshop, they were sending me, can you share me your prompts, which was pretty crazy. What prompts did you use? Which is like, I mean, the crazy thing is, I sent them the prompts, and they told me, Siri doesn't give me something like that. It was pretty crazy. I mean, the prompt is the same. It's the algorithm. Even if you place the prompt, it gives you a different result.
Yeah, we try on the studio. We try a few times use the same prompts. You can see it goes in a similar direction, but you never get the same image. It's like he always developing a new way.
Like we are feeding the machine. I think we are training the machine at the moment.
Yeah.
With true. All these million prompts that it's getting more clever. It's not day by day. Like from.
It's alive.
It's alive.
Yeah. It's funny. But it's really nice to see. Even here, like he said about the style frame. I think. That is something can really help, because it's a subject a lot of people, especially students, talk. Like when you have a mind block, you can't get ideas and anything. And I think that it's gonna help a lot of people, just throwing things, then see what the computer's coming, and they maybe start clicking and generating a few ideas for people.
And all, it's like, I mean, it's how I can say that, it's like an updated Pinterest or something like a customized Pinterest. I mean, like Pinterest, you can search, I don't know, like crazy rabbit in the forest, and it can give you a few pictures or images. But there you can create your own, let's say, outputs with these, keywords. So it's like something like an updated, customized or, personalized mood board or, Pinterest, we can say something like that. So it's just another tool. I mean, maybe I say maybe a key, again, it's more like a headache for the concept artists and not for us.
Yeah, that's why I've been thinking, because I've been looking some the other day some concept art from one French artist, and I said, wow, looks amazing, but looking what people have been doing with Midjourney, I said, fuck, I can see he's losing his job, that probably take him like five days to creating that concept, when like the AI would generate 500 for you.
You should email him and tell him.
Yeah,
crazy. I don't know. I think most of them, the ones who are very experienced, they can take all these photos and manipulate them in Photoshop and come up with awesome results in one day. Maybe it's also a tool for them, but it's more close to their area rather than our, motion design. Pretty close to their area, like.
So with with stuff with like the Midjourney and DALL-E in mind, I guess like going forward within our industry, how do you think they'll change industry? Because they'll have some kind of impact, I'd imagine, even in obviously what we do. Like, do we just become? I mean, I don't know. Like, do we become like when you're doing pictures mostly algorithm based, like, and then you keep your keywords to yourself? I mean, what? Because it'll have an impact, but as to what it is, I don't know.
I think I can see a future that everything will be more automated. I mean, something will be like back then. If you imagine ourselves like 10 years ago, in order to come up with, I don't know, a cool render or a cool simulation, it was taking days. Okay. Even render a cool scene with some animation or simulation or everything else, it was taking ages, But today you can get a cool high-res image with awesome lighting, and from 10, like it's like almost until a few minutes. So I see the future being, progressed pretty similar. We will have automated results with less human touch, maybe. The only thing that won't change is the creativity. I mean, it's pretty tough for a machine to imitate or clone the creativity of the human brain. I mean, maybe they will achieve that. I'm not sure, but
I wonder if that'll be the difference between, a project with a decent budget and a project with a lower budget. Like you'll be able to spot them because they'll be way more generic.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that we're going to see a lot of things happen in the future. But from my side, like what happened with the NFTs? Like 2 years ago, it was like an explosion.
Exploding,
something different with NFTs, and all the people were trying to do NFTs, and most of the artists, I mean, they still do, okay, which is, it's awesome for the people that they're doing. But the first months, it was like a huge, like something new, a new era was beginning, or something pretty awesome. But then I saw through the next months, it came to its original, place where it started. I mean, it took a few people, I mean, a lot of people went into the NFTs and all the Ethereum stuff and doing artwork for Ethereum and the whole trend. But at the end, most of the artists, or at least few of them, they were still moving on, and they can work for NFTs, but it's not like losing their mind with the NFTs. So it's like what happened with the AI right now. A lot of artists, they are using that, they're having fun, but I'm not pretty sure if they're going to use that as a like a permanent tool in their process.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, I think we saw already. I think it was like a big boom like a month ago as well with the AI, with the Mid Journey. We saw that calm down a little bit, but still, posting a lot of people posting quite a lot. Nano Costa, we did an interview with him, I think last year. No, James, he's been exploring so much with Mid Journey, and now he jumped on DALL-E as well. So it seems like few of you guys is still, pushing, but I think it's calmed down. I think the first time came, it was like the NFT boom. Everyone like, wow, what is this? It's gonna take our job. And now people it's come down, say, woo, it's more like a tool, But it's funny to see how the industry always reacts. It's just people like freak out first, and that's
it's just new, isn't it? And it gets oversaturated and like
very fast. It's oversaturated very fast. Like 1 month.
It's true.
1 month.
It's true.
And I don't know. This is what should happen always, but I see a lot of people, they're changing their role into, AI artists or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pretty
like
interesting.
crypto artists all over again.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Can't we just have artists and then you can just use whatever format?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I think kind of related, but like so with your work and what you do, like where do you find your inspiration, and how do you keep your work feeling fresh and out there?
Yeah, I think that I'm trying to have some time off from the studio. I love reading books, books that not motion designer 3D books, mostly books about psychology and stuff like that. This is my favorite topic about books. And then I love playing guitar from my early teenage years. I love music, playing the guitar.
Were you the guy on the sat on the step at the house party?
Yeah, exactly. And this is the moment. And I'm trying, especially to be honest, the last 5 years, I'm trying to spend more time with my family. Most of the summers that I was in the studio working and was not spending time with my daughter or my wife. And, I was trying to work in order to be, better in what I'm doing. But having some quality time with my family, trying to play some music, read some books, and, take some time walking outside. It's the only thing that I can do in order to get some inspiration. And I'm also, most of the times when I'm searching for inspiration for a project, I'm not looking into other 3D or motion design pieces. Okay, I'm trying to look for inspiration in architecture or photography or paintings and stuff like that. And I'm trying to get from different parts inspiration and try to mix them in order to come up with with something new. I mean, another project that we did that it's called Brutalism. We were inspired from the brutalist architecture, pretty close to the World War II, and we used that, and then we combined that with micro walls with a tilt shift, and we ended up. It's not like that we reinvented the wheel, but we did something that we really liked that, and we haven't seen that before.
It's kind of bringing your perspective to a subject that's not in our field,
Yeah, trying to find, because even if I'm going to look all day like studios like Man vs. Machine or Tendril or bigger studios than Yeti is at the moment, I can try to recreate them or imitate them or try to clone them, but they won't be me. Okay, they won't be going to be like, I'm trying to be cool or trend or try to create some cool stuff. But even if I will try hard, it won't be us, and it won't be also Tendril. It's going to be something between, which is the worst thing. Okay.
Well, it hasn't got the longevity either, because if you're doing you and your style, then you can keep coming up with the idea. If you're copying someone else, it's like, well, it will fizzle out eventually, especially if the trend changes, which it inevitably will.
And we have seen, as you said, that the trends are changing very fast in our industry. I mean,
for sure.
Watching right now for like 2 or 3 years, the trends are changing, from 3D photorealistic to more stylized, then again to stylized to photorealistic, and it's like turning around the trends, okay, from one thing to another. So you're not sure where the ball is going to end up. I mean, where everything is, what the trend is going to be. So, you know, just trying to be you. I think it's the most decent thing that you can do for yourself and your studio, you know, as an artist. Okay, trying to be, and maybe you're not so good as the studios that I mentioned, but you're good at your style. I mean, or you're good, you have your own voice. Maybe it's not too technical or not too accurate and awesomeness, but when you have your own voice, you know, you may, you know, differentiate, even if you're not 100% awesome technical wise or artistic wise sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I watched like years, I don't know, probably like about 10 years, 12 years ago. In one day off, had this guy, I don't remember the name now, but that stuck in my head. He had like this creative wheel he showed on his talk. And basically he showed the processes, like, you know, like doing his personal work or the studio personal work until that get recognized.
Okay.
And when that get recognizable, you know, you attract like big brands like Coca-Cola, Google, whatever, you know, then pay you to produce on your style that you've been producing. What happened with that, what they used to do, they used to get that money, so they start making a lot of money, and they invest that money to find another style they want to, you know, creating a new voice for them. But because when they turn to be really trendy, everyone trying to catch up and trying to do, but it's going to take time. When everyone is doing, they're already spending their money to reinvest and to find another voice for them, and that to be picked. So they created that kind of a cycle that works really nice, and that stuck in my head like for all these years, because it's really interesting, because it's like what you're saying, you know, when you have your voice, and like we said in the beginning, clients normally come to things they see, you know, and again, work on a personal project is when you start showing that. And but when you're creating a trend, if you're trying to run to, you know, learn what people doing to a trend, you're already late. Because you know that is already trendy, someone is already making money on that. When you catch up there, people is already moving to another trend. So you're always behind. So it's always, I think that's what personal project is so strong, because you start putting your voice then and trying to be recognized for what you know what you love.
Exactly.
You know, so that
it's very difficult to find your own voice. I mean, you know, it may take some years, or you know, it demands a lot of you know, experiments and tests and stuff like that. And but finally, if you are honest to yourself and if you feel comfortable with your skills, I mean, as we said in the start, you don't have maybe you don't have the skills, the technical skills, but you know, don't worry. I mean, you can come up with cool ideas. I mean, there are some awesome artists that are doing simple stuff and they're pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
So no,
that's true.
I think. Okay.
Cool. We're getting 1 hour and 3 minutes of show. I know it's 11 p.m. on your time.
Yeah.
For me, it's still 5 p.m. So we should start wrapping up. Do you want to make any last question, James, or we're good to go?
I did have a weird analogy for what you're talking about earlier about studios, but I think it's too bizarre, so I didn't say anything.
So it's better we leave that out.
We'll leave that there.
For the show. Okay. But Tony, thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure. It's been nice, you know, to have you in the show as well. It's been a long time we talk about that. It's great to get a little bit more perspective what you've been doing and where you want to take, you know, your work. Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
We have the next show in the next month, and August, the live show in Café 1001. We're back in September, as first week of September. We're gonna announce soon as well. But just keep an eye on our Instagram, and we always post that. And you guys, we share Tony's Instagram on the questions there as well.
Check it out.
Follow him to see. Yeah. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks.
See you guys in a month.
Bye. Thanks a lot.
See you later.
Bye.
Cool. And then the live stream is off.
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah, that was good.